All right, y'all. What everybody has been asking me to do, it's about to happen in this video, as you guys read from the title. We're finally going to be seeing if after almost 3 years, if Litter has been surpassed as the definitive best burst 1 unit in the game. We're doing Little Mermaid versus Litter. Now, I'm going to just talk about what these two have, the pros and the cons between these two characters, and then we're gonna go into shooting range with the exact same team, just do with different burst ones, and see the overall performance from what Litter and that same team has to offer, and what what's her name, Little Mermaid and that same team have to offer. Both of them are the exact same burst, the exact same support like typing, and they both have the same weapon. So hey, we're going in there, and both of them are 10 10 10. Actually no, Litter's 10 7 10, which is the cover HP, which is not going to matter anyways in this situation. But the pros about Litter is the simple fact that she does have the cover HP recover effect, and she is one of the only few characters that can do it like that. It is a very useful mechanic in the entire game, right? Being able to heal your cover is very, very powerful. Now, if you lose your cover, it becomes a useless ability, but there are characters in the game that are actually able to rebuild a broken cover. Litter is able to heal a cover rather than rebuilding a broken cover. She does also have CDR, which is a great thing for a support, and then she does have ammo capacity buff, crit damage buff, and an attack buff, all for 5 seconds when you use her burst skill. And then her burst skill itself gives a 66% attack buff for only 5 seconds, which I feel like, you know, for a character who came out in 2022, very, very powerful, right? I just wish that it went from 5 seconds to 10 seconds for almost everything she has to provide. But other than that, it is very, very good. Obviously, with a 2022 unit, she didn't have a lot of the stuff that we have nowadays, so I feel like Litter as a kit is a bit less than Little Mermaid as a kit, because Little Mermaid has cooldown reduction, attack damage buffs. She has damage taken increase to the enemy continuously, which is permanently, fill burst gauge, which is very helpful for getting your burst gauge faster. She is able to stun. She has attack damage, like she does actual damage, and then she gives an attack damage buff, a reload speed buff or not reload speed buff, but a reload magazine buff, and then an attack buff for only herself. So I feel like obviously when you're comparing the new 2025 Pilgrim to the first ever 2022 verse 1 character, like there's gonna be a massive difference. But they did make Litter's kit a kit that was just something that lasted too long. So we're gonna go in here where we're gonna use this exact same team. It's not gonna be you, it's gonna be Asuka. And we're basically just going to use this exact same team to see where these characters perform. Now I know a lot of you guys seen this. Actually no, I might change the team, because a lot of you guys just seen this same team in the video before. So I'm actually gonna change this team and go into like something else with Little Mermaid, and then also Litter. So give me a second. No, never mind. I feel like this is just a better way to do it, because like they both work like this. So let's just do this instead, right? We're gonna go into the boss obviously and see how they perform, right? And we didn't even actually get to see the actual final damage of the last one, because in the last video Riki did sign on before we could see the final damage, so I guess it's okay. But yeah, I do think like after all this time, Litter has been surpassed, right? I'm sorry, I know a lot of people might still want Litter to be the best one in the game, but there's just no possible way. I think this character does everything Litter does and better, besides the fact that she doesn't have the cover HP, right? Healing. The cover healing is the only thing that Litter has over Little Mermaid. But I feel like Little Mermaid has everything else over Litter. Like that's just what I feel like. I know Litter has a 66% attack buff, but again, it's only for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? She has cooldown reduction, which is great, but the attack buffs, all the buffs that Litter gives to the entire team is only 5 seconds, which is like, don't get me wrong, that's great, but that's 5 seconds of a full burst you're missing out on. Where with Little Mermaid, not only is she helping you get your burst almost instantly, but she has everybody on the team basically have their permanent effects. Anything that lasts 10 seconds that only works when you're in a full burst or something, she has that basically working permanently for all these characters. And then also at the same time, she does damage herself. Like she is type advantage here, so keep that in mind. But like She's a supporter. We shouldn't even be looking at her damage, right? She's a supporter at the end of the day. We should not even be caring about her damage. But she's just that broken of a character that she is. Like, just, I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm sorry. I just don't know what to tell y'all. She's cracked, right? Now, do I find Litter to be more useful than Little Mermaid? Probably not, even though I do think the cover healing is one of the greatest abilities in this game, especially Litter's, where she's cover healing 2 allies. I think it's like one of the greatest abilities in this game, but at the same time, it's like once you lose your cover, that effect is gone, right? I think that's the one thing I don't like, where when you lose something, a whole character's skill kit goes away, right? Like that entire skill 2 revolves around that cover. So if you no longer have a cover, her entire skill 2 is pointless, and then you just have 5-second buffs when you use her burst skill, mind you, or enter a full burst. It's just like, it's 2025, y'all. We cannot be doing this nonsense where, oh, Litter is still number 1. No, Litter, don't get me wrong, she had a crazy run. She's not going from the best burst 1 to like the worst burst 1 character to get. No, she's going from 1 to 2. After 3 years, she had a great run. But it does make sense that the fact that Dorothy couldn't even surpass Litter speaks of volumes, right? Dorothy was a anniversary pilgrim as well, a half anniversary pilgrim, and she didn't even pass Litter. So just remember these things. Just remember these things. Litter had a great run. I do feel like Rappy, like the Rappy Red Hood, her burst 1 was better than Litter, but she's a burst 3 character who has a burst 1 effect. I don't consider her a burst 1 character. I can use her as a burst 1 character, sure, but I don't consider, it's the same thing with Red Hood. I don't consider Red Hood a burst 1 character. I don't. They're burst 3 DPSs. The entire purpose was to be a burst 3. The additional effects they have are being burst 1s and 2s, I guess. But yeah, this team is just nasty. I'm sorry. Little Mermaid is just broken. So it is what it is. But we don't know. Maybe for all I know, Litter could just beat Little Mermaid right now. You know what I mean? Like, for all I know, Litter could beat Little Mermaid. She could. She could just be better. And how am I going to test who is better and who's not better? Simple. I'm just going to be looking at the overall damage, because both of these two, their whole purpose is really to support the team with their damaging and stuff like that. Obviously, we have other characters on the team as well, but 2 billion from Little Mermaid, yeah, she's type advantage, but again, her damage is not supposed to be something a supporter. We're not worried about damage for a supporter, but when it comes to Little Mermaid, we are. And plus, even if we weren't type advantage, Little Mermaid would still hit harder than like Litter. That's guaranteed. So I don't even want to hear, oh, but Little Mermaid was type advantage. It's not fair. It doesn't matter. What the fuck? Litter is not gonna do damage at all. I promise you, she's not gonna do damage, regardless of if she's type advantage or not. But yeah, this is what it was for. I'm gonna actually screenshot this. I'm gonna screenshot this, and then we're gonna see what this is with Litter. So let's go. All right, y'all. The moment of truth. Here we go with Litter. After this 3-minute run, I am going to do the comparison, and then after this video, I will have my definitive opinion. From after you guys see this video, if you were to ask me, Zxous, who's the best Burst 1 character in the game, I'd be able to tell you in a heartbeat. But let's take a look, right? Let's go to Litter as well. Like, Litter has a great attack damage of 66% attack is great and all. But we're to a point where we have too many attack buffs now, right? Like 66% attack buff, the attack damage, it's all cool and all. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, let's take a look at Miss Scarlet right here. Like, Scarlet's still at 602. I think with Little Mermaid, Scarlet was at 611 million after the first burst skill. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, Litter can still perform, but then we have this. We have to wait a few full bursts for Litter to, like, for her cooldown to rack up. That's the one thing as well. I think after 3 full bursts, then you have her entire cooldown reduction, which is still technically like lackluster. Because how many more burst skills are we? We're probably getting 1 extra burst skill before Miss, what's her name, Miss Litter gets her other burst skill. Like, you know what I mean? If that made sense right there. With Little Mermaid, we're getting one extra burst skill because she has a full 7-8 second cooldown reduction, where later we have to build up her burst skills like 3 times to get her full cooldown reduction. So because we're still wasting that little time, it's adding up to like another burst skill or almost another burst skill, which, yeah, like, yeah. But yeah, no, like, don't get me wrong, Litter is still broken. I'm not trying to take nothing away from Litter whatsoever. Like I said, from all I know, Litter could beat Little Mermaid, right? Litter could beat Little Mermaid right now. She could make it that show that her buffs are definitely, it's just better, right? I do think that Litter has the cover HP healing over Little Mermaid, and then I think I would say Little Mermaid has the filling burst gauge with the CDR permanent, basically permanent or up 100% is over Litter. That's what I would say, right? Other than that, I think they're like they have the same things, but Little Mermaid just has a bit more, right? Because like Litter doesn't have damage, right? Both of them have cooldown reduction. Both of them have attack buffs. But then both of them have something that the other doesn't have, where Litter's is the cover HP healing, Little Mermaid's is fill burst gauge, but then Little Mermaid has just like attacking stuff where she does crazy damage based on how much people on the team are doing damage. Or not how much they're doing damage, but how much people on the team are attacking. That's broken. That's broken. That's broken. I'm sorry, that's crazy. Oh, we're doing 85 times 10? 85% times 10 for every time we reach 500 ammo used as a whole team. What? That's broken. That's just dumb. You can't, like, no, that's broken. But hold on. Oh my god, this anniversary has just brought hype to me. I think this anniversary just brought hype to me because it's like, you can't deny the hype. We're seeing meta changes. We're seeing a Burst 1 who's been the #1 Burst 1 for 3 years be dethroned in our eyes. Possibly. Right? But if Litter does, let's say Litter somehow, her and this team end up doing better than the other team, does that still make Litter better than Little Mermaid? Like, that's the question of the day. If Litter does beat Little Mermaid right now with this team, right, she ends up getting more damage with this team than what Little Mermaid was able to give to her team. Does that make Litter better than Little Mermaid? I don't know. I just think Little Mermaid as a whole is broken. I mean, the damage is not even going to be close. I think we're at 10 billion for Little Mermaid. We're at 8. We're not even going to reach 9 billion for Litter. Maybe we might, actually, because we just got a full burst again. We're probably going to hit 10. We're going to hit a 9 billion, I think. I think we're going to hit 9 billion. Oh, we didn't, because he jumped. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to show you guys both of their stuff combined. All right, y'all. So I'm going to have to pull it up side by side. You guys are not going to be able to see it, but I'm just going to have to read it to you guys. So with, Litter, Crown ended up getting 800 or 608 million, right? Where with Little Mermaid, she only ended up getting 587 million. With Litter, Scarlet Black Shadow was able to get 4.5 billion, where with Little Mermaid, Scarlet was able to get 4.6 billion. With Asuka, with Litter, Asuka was able to get 2.7 billion, where with Little Mermaid, Asuka was only able to get 2.6 billion. With Litter, Helm was able to get 630 million, where with Little Mermaid, Helm was only able to get 576 million. Right? But then this is where it becomes game changing, because as you see, they're kind of close by. Everybody's number is very close by. But then here's the thing. Litter ended up getting 426 million, but Little Mermaid ended up getting 2 billion. That's 1.6 billion more damage added to the team from Little Mermaid. So not only does Little Mermaid's damage alone cover up all the damage that are missing from her side of the team, but it gives Little Mermaid is the best burst 1 in the game. Like, I'm not even gonna argue it no more. I'm not gonna argue with you guys no more. Well, nobody's arguing it. I think we all are in agreement. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think everybody's in agreement that Little Mermaid is the best burst 1 in the game. But this is just not normal. You can try to convince me otherwise, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna get you far. It's not. Really, it's just not. This character is just too broken. And even if she wasn't type advantage, she wasn't going to get like less than $1 billion. She was probably still going to get what? Maybe 1.5 billion. Let's keep it a buck. She's broken. This is the best Persona in the game. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.